I was cleaning out my husband's car when I found a second phone. I charged it in secret and found hundreds of messages from Maddy Redheart. One said, "I love how you pretend to be her husband while you're with me." My hands were shaking. That night, I made his favorite dinner, acted normal, and kissed him goodnight. The next morning, every contact in his phone had a screenshot from that secret phone. I wasn't snooping. Let me get that out of the way. I was just cleaning. My husband, Greg, had left his car a mess again, like always, and since he'd gone golfing with his friend Joe that morning, I figured I'd be nice and do it for him. We've been married for 11 years, and this kind of stuff used to be second nature, helping each other out, little acts of love. But lately, something had been off. He'd been more distant. He wasn't cruel, not mean, not loud. Just quiet. Hard to explain unless you've lived it. Anyway, I was digging under the passenger seat when I felt something hard wedged beneath the carpet. I pulled it out. An iPhone. Old. No case. Just sitting there like it was waiting to ruin my life. It wasn't his normal phone. That one was always in his hand or on the charger next to his bed. This one was off. I didn't panic right away. Maybe it was his old one, I thought. Maybe it was for work. But deep down, I knew. I knew right then. My heart started pounding, but I kept my face calm. I tucked the phone into the waistband of my leggings and finished cleaning like nothing was wrong. He got home around 4. Same dumb smile. Same golf hat. I kissed his cheek and asked if they'd had a good game. "Yeah," he said, like nothing had happened. "Joe's swing is still trash." I smiled. "You hungry?" "I was thinking pot roast tonight." He grinned. "You're amazing." Later, while he was in the shower, I plugged in the phone. It took a while to power up. When the Apple logo came on, I felt like I might throw up. I tried a random passcode. 0000. It opened. No security. Just, open. There were only a few apps. One was Messages. Another was WhatsApp. And there was this calculator icon that I recognized from a news article. It was a vault. A place to hide photos and videos. I clicked on Messages first. The top contact was saved as Maddy Redheart. I almost dropped the phone. Hundreds of messages. Going back months. "You taste better when you've just left her. Don't forget to tell her you're working late. I'll be in room 237. You're so good at pretending. It's like you're two people." I read them all. Every last one. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just read. I studied them. I let the words sink in. Because this wasn't a one-night stand. This wasn't a mistake. This was a second life. And I had no idea my husband was living it. There were photos. Videos. Screenshots of hotel bookings. Her body. His hands. Her lipstick on his chest. One video was of them in bed, laughing about me. "I think she suspects something," he said. "Nah," she answered. "She's too nice." I watched that one twice. Then I closed the phone, set it aside, and took a long shower. That night, I made his favorite dinner. Real mashed potatoes. Carrots glazed with brown sugar. I even poured him a glass of his favorite red wine. He smiled across the table. "What's the occasion?" I said, "Just wanted to make you feel special." He kissed me goodnight. I kissed him back. Then I waited for him to fall asleep. And I got to work. I took screenshots of every single message and image on that phone. Then I airdropped them to my laptop. I organized them into folders by category: texts, photos, videos. I gave the folders names like lies and motel trash. Then I connected his real phone. The one he used every day. I had the passcode. Of course I did. I opened his contacts. All of them. His mom. His boss. His brother. His buddies from high school. Our neighbors. His gym trainer. Even our couple's therapist. I created a text draft for each person. Each one got a different screenshot. Some were text messages. Some were photos. One of them got the video where he said I was too nice to suspect anything. At 6 a.m., I hit send on all of them. Then I made coffee. Black. No sugar. He came downstairs around 6:30, rubbing his eyes, yawning. "You're up early," he said. Couldn't sleep. He picked up his phone. I watched his face change. First, a squint. Then a frown. Then full panic. What the hell is this?" I said nothing. He opened a few. Swiped. Tapped. Then looked at me like I was someone he didn't recognize. "Did you do this?" I said, "I found your other phone." He went pale. "I can explain," he said. I said, "I'm listening." He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Then he tried again. "It was a mistake. I messed up. I didn't mean." "Which part didn't you mean?" I asked. "The hotel? The sex? The lies?" He shook his head. "I never wanted to hurt you." "You didn't hurt me," I said. "You ended us." Then I walked out of the kitchen and left him sitting there, holding his phone like it was on fire. My inbox blew up. People texting. Calling. Everyone had an opinion. Some of them said they were shocked. Some weren't. His mom begged me to call her. I didn't. His boss left a voicemail. "We're going to have to reevaluate Greg's position here. This is serious." Damn right it was. Greg spent the whole day in damage control mode. I could hear him on the phone, trying to lie, trying to twist it. But the proof was out. He wasn't just a cheater. He was a coward. That night, he came to the guest room door. "Can we talk?" I didn't look at him. "We are talking. This is me saying you can go to hell." His voice cracked. "Please, don't do this. We can fix it." I turned to face him. "You already fixed it. With her. Remember? You said I was too nice." He looked like he'd been slapped. I didn't care. This was just the beginning. After the group text bomb dropped, everything in Greg's life started to crack. He didn't go to work the next day. Too many people knew. Too many people had seen what I sent. But I wasn't done. I'd kept quiet for too long. I gave him 11 years, and he gave some 20-something motel trash his loyalty instead. No, this wasn't going to be quiet. This wasn't going to be another sad wife story. 3 days later, I called Maddy. Yeah. I found her number in the Hidden Vault app. She didn't have a picture saved, just a number. I waited until Greg left the house. He said he was going to get some air. I'm pretty sure he was hiding out at his brother's place. I dialed. She picked up on the third ring. "Hello?" Her voice was lighter than I expected. Younger. Naive. "Hi, Maddy. This is Greg's wife." Silence. Then, "What?" "You heard me. His wife. You know, the one you said he pretends with while he's inside you." She gasped. "I've read everything," I said. "Every message. Every photo. Every video. I saw the one at the Days Inn. The one where you laughed about me. Listen. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. You didn't just hurt someone. You helped destroy a marriage." "I didn't know he was really married," she said. "He told me you were separated." I laughed. "You think I'd be sleeping next to him if we were separated?" You think I'd be cooking him dinner and washing his boxers while he was out at the Motel 6 with you? She was quiet. I could hear her breathing, though. Fast and shaky. I went on, let me be clear. I'm not calling to beg. I'm not calling to scream. I just wanted you to hear my voice. Because every time you close your eyes, I want you to remember that I was real. I existed. And I hope to God the next time a man tells you he's married, you walk away instead of spreading your legs. Click. I didn't wait for her to respond. I blocked the number. That night, Greg came back with flowers. Big, stupid grocery store roses. He stood in the kitchen holding them like a kid who broke a window. I'm sorry, he said. I don't even know what to say anymore. Try saying the truth. I messed up. I was bored. I felt like you didn't look at me the same anymore. That pissed me off. You felt bored? So you risked everything for motel sex with a girl who still shops at Forever 21? I didn't plan it. It just happened. I slammed the cabinet shut. No, Greg. That excuse works for a one-night stand. Not a second phone. Not a double life. This wasn't one mistake. This was a whole damn campaign. He started crying. I hate myself. I don't even know who I am anymore. You're a liar. That's who you are. He asked me if we could go to counseling. Said he was willing to do anything to earn my trust again. I said, you don't earn trust back by begging. You do it by shutting up and letting me burn what you built. The next day, I called our mortgage lender. The house was in both our names. But my parents had helped with the down payment. I called my lawyer next. I wanted separation papers drafted, and I wanted them fast. I also looked into private investigators. Not for Greg. For me. I needed someone to dig into his financials. I had a gut feeling this whole double life thing went deeper than just cheating. And I was right. Turns out, he'd taken out a personal loan 6 months ago. 20 grand. Said it was for home renovations. We never saw a dime of that money. When I traced it through his bank statements, I saw cash withdrawals, hotel charges, expensive dinners in a part of town I'd never even been to. I confronted him. Where's the money, Greg? He froze. What money? You know what money. The loan. 20 grand. He stammered. I used some of it to help Maddy. My head felt like it was about to explode. You gave her our money? She was struggling. She had to drop out of school. I walked right past him, grabbed a suitcase from the closet, and started packing. Wait, he said. What are you doing? What I should have done the moment I found that phone. I packed my clothes like I was on autopilot. Jeans. T-shirts. The hoodie I always wore when I was sad. I took my toothbrush, my slippers, and left everything else. Greg just stood in the doorway of our bedroom, stammering like a kid who broke a vase. You don't have to go, he said. Please, just let me explain. You did explain, I shot back. With your hands. With your bank account. With that second phone. You said it all, Greg. I left that night and went to my sister's in Richmond. She's 5 years older than me and has always been the one person in the family who sees through bullshit fast. When I told her everything, she didn't say, I told you so, even though I'm sure she wanted to. She let me cry. Then she poured me wine and said, so what's next? I told her about the lawyer. The financial mess. How I was planning to take him for everything he had. But then something happened I didn't see coming. 2 days later, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't pick up. Is this Rachel? Yes. This is Detective Miles with Henrico County PD. Do you have a minute to talk? My heart stopped. Yeah, I said. What's this about? He paused. We received a fraud report connected to a loan in your name. Are you aware of a $15,000 line of credit opened in April through Capital One? I almost dropped the phone. No. That's not mine. I see. It's linked to your shared address with Greg Miller. We'll need you to come in and make a statement. Turns out, that wasn't the only loan. Greg hadn't just taken out one $20,000 loan in his name. He'd also opened two others in mine. One for 15 grand. One for 8. I hadn't seen a single dollar from either. My stomach turned as the detective explained how it worked. How someone with access to your documents, your social, your license, your tax records, could do this without you even knowing. He's your husband? The detective asked. Not for long, I said. I hung up the phone and nearly screamed. This wasn't just betrayal. This was identity theft. He didn't just cheat on me. He used me. He used my name to fund his double life with some 26-year-old barfly. And she probably didn't even know. Or worse, she did. I called my lawyer immediately. We shifted everything. Divorce paperwork was now layered with criminal proceedings. Fraud. Forgery. Financial abuse. Then I called Greg. He didn't answer the first time. Second time, I left a voicemail. Hey, it's me. Hope Maddy enjoys the money you stole from me, because guess what? The cops are calling. Hope you've got a good lawyer. 5 minutes later, he called back. Rachel, please. Let's talk. Don't do this. You did this, I snapped. You forged my name. Took money out in my name. That's a felony, Greg. I can fix it. You're not fixing anything, I said. You're going to jail. He started sobbing again. I didn't mean to steal from you. I didn't know how to stop lying. That part, I believed. A week later, I found out Maddy was pregnant. No joke. Her Instagram page was private, but a mutual friend of Greg's followed her. And like magic, there it was, a photo of her in a white dress, one hand resting on a tiny belly, captioned, "A new chapter, 2 hearts, can't wait to meet you, little one." The post was tagged with Greg. That's when everything clicked. The sudden loans. The desperation. The secret phone. Greg had gotten her pregnant and needed money fast. He couldn't tell me, so he used me. Used my credit, my name, my life. All while still sleeping in our bed. I sent the post to my lawyer. Make sure the judge sees this, I wrote. It all came crashing down 3 weeks later in a courtroom that smelled like sweat and stale coffee. Greg stood there in a cheap suit that didn't quite fit anymore, next to a public defender who looked like he just wanted the day to be over. Across from him, I sat with my lawyer. Calm. Cold. Tired. The judge looked through the paperwork. We have identity theft, forgery, financial fraud, and civil divorce proceedings. Mr. Miller, do you understand the charges? Greg said yes. His voice cracked. He tried to plead for leniency. Said it was out of desperation, that he never meant to hurt me. But I could tell, he didn't care about what he did. He cared that he got caught. I'd made sure the judge had everything. Every screenshot. Every transaction. The pregnancy post. The receipts from the hotels. Even a recording I took when Greg admitted he used my name for the loans. My lawyer stood and said it clear, Mrs. Miller is not just a victim of infidelity. She's the victim of calculated, long-term fraud committed by someone who vowed to protect her. We asked the court to consider the emotional, financial, and legal trauma inflicted on her. Greg cried. I didn't. When the judge ordered him to pay full restitution, granted me full rights to the house, and froze his bank accounts, he just collapsed into his seat. When the judge added that criminal charges would be filed separately for the identity theft, Greg didn't even argue. He just nodded. He knew. Outside the courthouse, I didn't feel victorious. I felt hollow. 11 years gone. All that time. All that love. All that work. Just, stolen. A week later, Greg moved in with Maddy. They posted a photo together on her page. Smiling. She looked tired. He looked fake. 6 months after that, I heard through a mutual friend that she kicked him out. Turns out, Greg had borrowed money from her too. Said it was to get back on his feet. Old habits die hard, I guess. She was stuck raising that baby alone now. I thought about calling her once. Not to comfort her. Just to say, told you. But I didn't. I'd made my point. Instead, I sold the house. Paid off the loans. Got every penny back through the court and some extra from the civil suit. I bought a condo in Charleston and started over. Quiet. Clean. Alone, but not lonely. The part one regret the most? Ignoring the signs. Making excuses. Thinking I was being too suspicious when my gut was screaming at me. That was my mistake. But Greg's mistake? Thinking I was the kind of woman who'd stay silent. He gambled everything on me not finding that second phone. And he lost everything. Good.